Good night. Welcome to my live. How are you guys? I'm trying to be in the Christmas spirit, so, I know this is the most traditional Christmas pattern. Every year I see people in this pattern. It's traditional, so. Um, I hope everyone had a happy Sunday, a great Sunday. I had a wonderful day. It was really, really cold today because we had a snowstorm. We woke up with the snow. It was cold. I pretty much stayed in my house all day because I don't do well with the snow. I did go out though I tested the snow. I know they said snow is toxic, but I always taste snow, which I know it's weird, but I tasted my snow. The snow, it was clean snow coming off. And then the boys were out there cleaning the snow and playing snow fight. So I was watching that, so my thing under my. So the boys were doing that. They were outside playing in the snow, and I was just watching. But they had fun for the little bit. I wanted us to go snow tubing or do something around the neighborhood because they have hills when it snows. A lot of people they take their tubes and they slide down the hills, and we have a bunch of things close by that we can do. But they were exhausted after helping, after shoveling. Even though it was light snow, we did try to we they did shovel up the driveway and cleaned everything up, shovel up the sidewalk because you have to do that so that if anyone is walking by, it's safe for them to walk by. So that's what they did, and we pretty much stayed in. And I pretty much today, I did pretty much my errands, laundry, cook, clean up, and that's about it. I did my Sunday errands. I didn't go to actual physical church, but I watched church on my TV. So it was a very productive Sunday, I should say, because I got all my laundry done. I have the kids' clothes out for the week, and also my house is clean. So it's a productive day, very productive day, and I'm happy for how the day turned out you know. But the snow was really nice. I wanted to go out to, really walk in the snow, but no, it was too cold. I was not really into I do have some videos and photos of the snow. Hi, preppy girl. Are you as preppy? You like pink? Um, I am not. I don't like the cold. The snow is very pretty though. It looks good when you go outside, but to stay in the snow all day, no. And I have my Uggs boot. They're nice, but they're not really made for snow. You need actual snow boots to go outside, but the Uggs, they do keep your feet warm for the snow. But today we had a snow day. I'm sure everyone was having a great time. Hi, Hallow. How are you? Everyone was having a great time today in the snow. I mean, I do have videos of me talking in the snow, stating that, I see a lot of people going to Aspen, Colorado. And I don't need to really go to Aspen, Colorado because we have snow here. Like everything that they have in Aspen, we have here. I guess Aspen is, it's richer and more luxurious. The celebrities go there, but we have places like cabins where we can go for snow. Hollow, yes, I was in the car. Right. Oh, yeah, you were in the car and it cut off. Yes, I remember you. So I forgot jewelry to mention jewelry. Well, your girlfriend might be different than I am. Like I said, everyone is different. It depends on what she likes. I forgot to mention jewelry that girl likes. We like jewelry as well. I said jewelry, makeup, pocketbook. Some girls, you have to put them a flight. Um, what else? Like a luxury bag. Oh, so the golden, oh, wow. That's nice. 24 carats. Oh, that's good. She'll be happy. You know, a lot of girls like jewelry. I like jewelry like the simple jewelry. I don't like too much over the top. Maybe if I'm doing an outfit, I'll just add the big jewelry, the over the top big, but the custom jewelry. But I don't. I like simple jewelry. Oh, it costed $24,000. You're 18. What do you do, honey? Let us know. Because if you're 18 and spending 24,000 on jewelry, then what is your profession? What is your profession? You can actually school the people on my live to let them know what they can do so that they can buy their girlfriends or wives a $24,000 necklace. You do OnlyFans at 18? What do you, it's like, what do you do OF at 18? That is so young. Why did you resort to that? Because you wanted fast money? I guess a lot of people want fast money. But don't sell your soul for money. That's what you're 18, you shouldn't sell your soul for money. Like, is it worth it? You won't feel good at the end of the day. You won't feel good about your choices, but I feel like for OF some of it is good content. It's not like bad, you know, is not the content that we think it is, because some people they do regular things like they do on YouTube. Okay, so if you're 18 and you can buy a $24,000 necklace for your girlfriend, not even your wife, then kudos to you, you know? That's very good. But if you were my child, I that wouldn't happen. I wouldn't have my child on OF. That is just crazy. But for you to buy your girlfriend a $24,000 necklace and she's not happy with it, maybe you need to get another girlfriend. Maybe she's not the one for you because she's not happy with you buying her a $24,000 bracelet. That's crazy. Okay, you have a 3D modeling business. Wow, interesting. My kids will not be on OnlyFans. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can even say it on YouTube Live because, you know, YouTube Live is crazy. Speaking of OnlyFans, guys, I was in the hairdresser and a girl in the hairdresser, she was very beautiful. Her haircut was nice. She was a stylist. She had like the perfect body, perfect hair, perfect outfit. And she was talking about how I guess a guy did something to her. I don't really know her that well. I don't see her much because she was doing braids and dreads. She did locks and she was talking to a client. I was being nosy. She was saying she would allow her, like, she was very beautiful, very beautiful. Um, but she seemed young. Like the thing she was saying, it was crazy. She would allow her husband to have another female in the bedroom. Guys, that is really silly, you know? It Okay, you went down the wrong path. Well, try to go on the right path. I don't think you should chase money, but if your OF is a good content, it's not anything explicit. I don't know anything about it. I just hear that it's pornography, but if you're 18 and doing that, that's not very good. You know, you shouldn't be doing that. You know, try to go to school. Like if you got easy money, you saved the money, try to go to school to do something to help yourself, you know? And like you're saying that you're 18, you went down the wrong path and now you're moving towards the right path. So maybe you can help younger kids to not take the path that you took, you know? Because when I heard that girl say that she was gonna allow other people in her bedroom, like in order to please her husband, That's ridiculous because if a man is going to leave you, he's going to leave you, whether you allow another girl in the bedroom or not. No man should be asking a woman to have the, no man should ask a woman to have another girl in their bedroom. So if my man came up to me and asked me to bring another girl in the bedroom, that means I'm not pleasing him properly. And to me, I would definitely be offended by that, you know? I would be offended if my man ever said that to me. I would probably have to break up with that guy. You know, I would have to break up with that man. He would have to go. So she was very pretty for her to have that mindset. Probably a guy was playing her, doing something awful to her, because why would you say that? And she, guys, she was gorgeous. She was gorgeous, you know? And she's like, oh, I'll try to do everything for my man, like cook, clean, do whatever, so that he wouldn't cheat. You can do whatever, how much you want, but if a man is going to cheat, he's going to cheat. He's going to cheat. You can give him the world, but some men are just dogs like that, you know? They like their cake and what is it? They like their cake. I forgot the saying. I don't know. You guys can type it. Let me know. They want to have their cake and eat it too. So most men are like that. They're never satisfied, no matter what you do. And I knew this girl also. She was like a very innocent girl, and she was with a man. Like the guy was cheating on his wife, and she was a side chick. Now, as a side chick, the guy was taking her to like orgies. Like they really do that, guys. So the guy was taking her to do crazy things, you know? But I'm like, if I'm a side chick, why would I do that for a man who have a wife? Why would I jeopardize my body for a man who he's not gonna leave his wife? Like most men don't leave their wife, you know, they just use you and toss you aside. That's what they do. So I just encourage young girls not to engage in things like that. Don't settle or have more morals and values than allowing a guy who really, at the end of the day, he doesn't want to, you know? He doesn't like you because if a man, you think every man cheat? I don't think every man cheat, me personally. I don't think every man cheat. I think majority of men cheat, but I don't think every man cheat. I think majority of them cheat because they're dissatisfied, but I also feel like women put men on a pedestal to make them think they're above us and that, you know, they're the prize. So if a woman feel like she's the prize, then I mean that won't happen. If a man cheat, just leave him and go get another one. Like I always say, there's plenty of fishes in the sea, and no man should make you feel like unworthy, or no man should make you feel a certain way. You know, there's so many fishes. You can get a man, and nowadays it's so easy to get someone. People just give them, I'm not saying people give themselves up like that. But I think that makes it hard for people who really want to settle down, the single people that's out there, because people give up themselves so easily. A guy don't have to do anything nowadays, and girls should not be doing that because I feel like men should work for a female. Like you should work for a female. You should treat her special, take her on dates, you know, take her on trips. When you're courting her, yes, you should treat her special because most women, they have it all. Women are hardworking. Well, the women I know, I don't know about the women you guys know, but the women I know are hardworking. They have it. They have it. They don't really need a man. But if for the men who are pursuing women, make sure that you treat her well, like you take her on dates, you know, how much does it cost to take a woman out to eat? It's like you can take a woman out to eat with $100 now. Like, come on. Some men, they just want it all and they don't want to do anything for a woman. No man is no man is ever satisfied, right? No man is ever satisfied, and it's just weird. I'm not saying women don't cheat too. Women do cheat because they can be dissatisfied too. Um, it's not just man or woman. I think it's the person. It's not um cheating is not specific to one sex. It's just the person, the individual. Little him? No, I don't know what you're talking about. Women do cheat. They just do it more on a sneakier level. It's hard to catch them to cheat. It's hard to catch them. But a man is open where they're like very sloppy. So they get caught a lot. But a woman can do it and not get caught. So they do it, but they do it where it's just they do it more subtle. They don't do it a lot, but they do it. But they do. I think it depends on the person. It depends on the person, you know? And some women will know what's happening in her life. People think women are foolish, but they know what's happening in their life. They just, some of them ignore it, because they have something to gain. Like they have something to gain out of the situation. So they they gain it. And why is that? Why is that, sir? Why? Why do you think you have to do that? Why do you think you have to do that? Is it worth it? Was it worth it? You know? Does it make you feel better? Well, some people say they're not, everyone have their vices. Some people, that's what they do. That's their thing. I just watch too much of Fatal Attraction and then I watch crime TV. That I think is that's you're taking a risk right there when you're, you know, dealing with different people because unless you specifically state what you want, like if you state, oh, this is just a situationship and they're okay with that, then I guess it's fine if you guys agree to be with other people. But if it's like a stable relationship and you're supposed to be with one person, then that's a problem. So if you communicate with your partner what they want, then to each their own, there's too much craziness going on and people are very fickle. They just go off. What did I was mentioning there was a girl. It wasn't even cheating. She was an ex. The guy was an ex and he moved on with another girl. And the girl, you guys can look it up. She flew all the way from New York to Florida to unalive the new girl. And the boy was her ex. Like to me, that's crazy. That is crazy. May that love never find me, God, for an ex. May it never find me, ever. I would, like, once someone is an ex, they're an ex. Yes, that's an ex. Why are you going crazy over an ex? If a guy doesn't want you, let him go. Like, now the guy is married to someone new and she's in prison for life. So, was it worth it? It wasn't worth it. Like, you have to step away from the situation and just think, you know, when you're dealing with multiple people, think, or when you have an ex, think certain things are not worth it. Don't put a human being on a pedestal. In these type of situations, it just shows that people don't put themselves first. You have to put yourself first. Like you never love someone more than you love yourself. So she was so obsessed. That's obsession to me. You're obsessed with the guy. You have to let them go. Like, or don't like rejection. Like they were spoiled and they're not okay with being rejected. Like they can't comprehend how someone could reject them. In their head, they cannot get it. But it's okay. People move on. People just get bored sometimes. It's okay, or if it's too toxic, they're going to leave the situation. That's probably why the guy left because she's toxic. Because if you go all the way from Florida to New York, You had time to think about the situation, you know? You had time to turn around, and she was pregnant. So it's like you didn't even think about your baby in your stomach. So now the baby is born, the baby's being raised by the man's parents, and the guy have moved on. He's getting married to a new girl, and now you cannot raise your child now because you're in there for life. So control your anger, guys, and stop being stuck to people who don't want you. If they don't want you, let them go. Guys, I'm older, so at this point in my age, I'm settled. But if I was single, I don't think I would be in a relationship. And I would not mess with anyone. The guys out here are too crazy. The things I hear and read, I need to stop watching crime TV because it blows my mind. It just makes you want to stay single because they do crazy stuff out there. They do crazy things. Trust me. I don't understand that girl. Yeah, you have to look up this story. It's interesting. And she's a beautiful girl too. So it's like you're so pretty and you allowed an ex to do that. Like she was so pretty. Both the girls were pretty. They were beautiful young ladies, and it's like you pretty much threw your life away. Now that would be fatal attraction, but I mean, the guy didn't tell her to do it. She did it on her own. Most of the time on the show Fatal Attraction, the girls are fueled by a man. The man like lead them down the wrong path, but in this case, the guy didn't lead her down the wrong path. She led herself down the wrong path, you know? She led herself down the wrong path. So, I don't know. I watch those stories, but I sometimes I have to stop watching them because you can't really comprehend what goes on in these people's mind, you know? You cannot comprehend it because it's like that you wouldn't do anything crazy like that, but you can't comprehend why they would do that. To me, an ex is an ex, and that's it. I'm a Gemini guy, so we don't care about exes. We can detach very easily from people, which I love. I love my sign Gemini. We just could detach. We remove ourselves and that's it. We're done. We're done. We're done. So we're not offended. We just move on to the next one. Like next, next. Like I said, there's plenty of fishes in the sea. I couldn't see myself doing that either to another human over that. Nope. It's not a movie. It's if you go to like true crimes, it was a real life story. I forgot her name, but if you look up like girl who flew from New York to Florida on YouTube, you'll see the story. It will tell. There's sometimes I watch those shows because the narrators, they tell it so good. It seems like you're watching a movie. They tell the story so good on their channels. Like True Crime is a good one. It's on there, but if you look up the story, it will come up on your YouTube. Like girl who flew from New York to Florida to unalive another girl. So it will come up. It was a very interesting story. It was viral last week because she was sentenced to life. I don't think, no, that's not the name of the movie. You have to look it up on YouTube. I forgot her name because I'm on live now. I can't even look it up. I would have to go get my other device. Um, Her name is Samantha or something. I don't know. Give me a moment. 1 second. Okay, her name is Shakina Thompson. If you look it up, that's the name of the girl. You can just search YouTube for her and then the story will come up. So that's, I was saying, be careful who you guys mess with. Be careful. You said you like to deal with different people. Be careful because I'm sure that guy, he thought he moved on and he was, he moved on and everything. And look at what happened. Shaq. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that, guys. So it's crazy what people do. Like, it's just incomprehensible, but you have to just pray for the world because people have emotional problems that it's not really dealt with when they're young. And so this is why things like this happen. You know, it's emotional problems. You have to teach your children how to have emotional intelligence. You can't just get upset or get angry and just blow up. You have to control your anger. And if you get angry, because we all get angry, you have to have tools of how to calm yourself down. You know, you have to know how to calm yourself down to really think about the consequences of your actions. Most people don't think about the consequences of their action. Hi, Robin Childs. Most people don't think about the consequences of their actions, and that's why. Hi, Neville. How are you? Most people don't think about the consequences of their actions, and that's why things happen. But if they had emotional intelligence or they taught intelligence, then I think a lot of people would know how to control their anger. And some people, it's very much a condition that they have that they probably need medicine, their anger management. They probably need something to help them to control their anger. And also, a lot of kids may adapt the anger trait from their parents because it depends on your household. Sometimes you can't really get too angry over kids. You have to teach them that anger is not the way, violence is not the way. You have to, I know a lot of people spank kids and beat kids and think sometimes that's the way to reprimand a child. But I think that when you teach them that beating and fighting is the way to correct a situation, when the kid get older, then they feel like fighting or hitting someone is the way to get someone to listen to them. So it's like they're taught that from home when you spank them. But I feel like some kids may understand that they can't go out there and hit someone and have someone listen to them like at home. So it's, you have to really teach your kids from their young. Mental health is really strong. Yes, mental health is really strong. But I feel like with this girl, for her to go from New York, she flew to Florida and she had time. You sat in a plane, you had time to really think about your actions, and why would you confront a new girlfriend to your ex? Why would you confront a new girlfriend? It's not the girl's fault. You confront the man because the girl have nothing to do with it. If the guy's your ex and he decides to date someone else, that's his business. Why are you getting upset at the girl? And I heard well, per the story, she was upset because she argued back and forth with the girl on social media and she blocked her. So she was mad that the girl blocked her and she couldn't keep up with the new girl's life. Now that's obsession. Why do you need to keep up with your ex's new girl's life? Why? It's not a competition. If he left you, you're gone. He's with somebody else. And he's in a different state. You're in New York and he's all the way in Florida, you know? And I've seen that plenty time, guys. I've watched a few stories like that. This guy, if you guys look it up, because I like watching the crime TV and the court TV. This guy, his ex-wife divorced him, and they had about 3 kids. And then she met a new guy, and they were having a happy relationship. And the new guy, when he met her with 3 kids. He had no kids, and he treated the wife well, the ex-wife well, his new girlfriend, and they had one child together. And the man, the ex-husband, he drove all the way from Maryland to Florida to unalive the parents, the two couples, and his kids were left with no mom. Like, he did it with all the kids in the house. So yeah, that to me is a mental issue or anger issue. And when they caught him, he was on the beach with his mom acting so calm, and the mom was like acting like everything is okay. Sometimes parents know their kids, like, like if your child have an anger management. That's so true. Some women don't have respect because I feel like a lot of women, right, they don't love themselves. What they do, they look for love in a partner. I think because most women, they don't have that influence, as, when you're younger, you don't have, and I don't want to judge, because some women who don't have a mother or father in their life, some of them have self-respect. They have boundaries. They don't settle because of their upbringing or situations, because they didn't have that love from a mother and father. But then some people who they didn't have the love, they try to find it from others who, it's toxic. They try to find toxic love. And some people, they just don't know love, and they just do crazy things. Because if a man leaves you and he's with an ex and you're pregnant, that guy don't love you at all. And it's like, she ended up in prison. He doesn't even have the child. She had her child, and the man is not raising the child. So that just lets you know that he didn't care about you from day one. He didn't really care for you from day one, because you were pregnant and he left you pregnant to go be with another girl. You know, she was like newly pregnant. I don't know if he probably knew she was pregnant, but she was newly pregnant and he left her to be with another girl. So he didn't care about you. So why would you fly across the country to harm somebody else over this man? Now she's in jail for life, and the man is getting remarried. He's getting remarried to another woman. So it's like, was it worth it? It was not worth it. I feel bad for her though, because some men are very manipulative, and so I think he probably told her some stories and she believed it, because I don't know. I just sometimes I feel bad for both families, because one lost a daughter and the other one, she's in prison. She can't raise her child, and they're young. One was in her 20s, and I think the one in prison is in her early 30s. So it's like your life is pretty much gone, and the man that you are fighting over, he's free. He's free as a bird, you know? So it's like you have to ask yourself, was it worth it? And you can't turn back the hands of time when these things happen. So I feel like people need to really learn emotional control, like learn how to control your emotions. With me, I try to walk, I think about the consequences of my actions, and most people, they don't think about the consequences of their actions because some people are not held accountable. Like they're spoiled, they're not held accountable for their actions in life. Like you can't spoil your kids, you know? Don't spoil your kids, hold them accountable, punish them for things that they do that's not right. So they understand there are consequences to certain actions, you know? You have to hold kids accountable, like teach them from their young. I'm not saying accidents can't happen, but this is like a deliberate action. You went there. You went to the woman's apartment, like you're pretty much stalking her. And I cannot judge. Like I said, I feel bad for both parties, you know? I feel bad for her because she have a son that she cannot raise and the other girl is gone, you know? And the whole thing was the guy's fault. And he's free. But was it his fault? What do you guys think? Was it his fault? I don't know. It's probably not his fault because he didn't tell her to do that. So it's not his fault. I can't blame him. But it's like he's still, whether he get married or not, he's still tied to this situation for his lifetime. Like he's still a part of the situation. He cannot get rid of that part of his life, you know? Um, because he had a baby with the girl. So I need to stop watching these shows, but they're very intriguing because the way the narrator tell the stories, they tell it in a way that gets you, um, it reels you in. But at sometimes you get really sad for the people's life that you don't know at all, and you get up sad. But it's sometimes you have to take a break. So I take breaks sometimes and watch Christmas movies. I'll just watch a Christmas movie or something, a cliche Christmas movie with a happy ending. And, that helps me to not have those stories in my mind constantly because we can't comprehend, like you say, Robin, some girls, they just don't know their worth. And I think that's why a lot of men get away because they're placed on pedestal. I'm not saying that you should not treat your man like he's a king, but he has to treat you like you're a queen too. You cannot put a man above yourself. You have to love yourself first. If a man do something crazy, you know when to step yourself back. You have to see the red flags, like if a guy really love you or not, and take your steps on how you're going to remove yourself from the situation instead of doing something very drastic or something that's going to affect your life in a negative way for the rest of your life. People get so tied to an ex, and me personally, I've never gotten tied to an ex. I just move on because if someone doesn't want you, like, why would you fight them? They don't like you. And you will find somebody that will love you for you. Don't force people that don't like you. And I'm talking about friendships, relationship, anything. Don't force them because they'll hurt you. They'll cause like harm in your life. Even friends. Don't force people to like or love you. You have to move on. Yeah, Robin, I move on from my exes. I don't even remember like my ex. I don't keep them in my mind. So she was talking her ex. So that wouldn't be me. But I guess because she was pregnant, she couldn't date. So maybe, she had time. She couldn't date because she was pregnant with his child, but still, she could have moved on and better herself. There's a lot of people who are not with their kid's father, and they meet new people and they have a very good life. So I think people have this stigma that you have to be with your child's father, and sometimes you can't because it's a toxic situation. You cannot be with them. And some people fall out of love. No one wants that, but it happens. It happens quite often than we think. and it's okay. I think people try to make it seem like it's, it's not normal, but it's normal. There's people break out of relationships. Oh my God. Speaking of this story, guys, I know there's another story that I was watching. Oh, you did, Robin? Wow, that's wonderful. What happened? Well, my first son, I had him, he was my college sweetheart, and I thought we were going to get married and be together forever. I was young, 19. Okay. We were together from 19 to like 22. So we were we were college sweethearts, and but he was not nice. So, I left him. I was in Pennsylvania. I went to school and I grew up in Connecticut. So I just left. I was young. I got my degree and I left. And, I raised my child, but I still made him have like a relationship with my son. I would send him in summers and stuff like that. So, I mean, he didn't totally abandon, but the thing about him, he it's like my son had to go to him. He never visited my son. So with their relationship, my son is older now, so I just let him control the relationship. But when he was young, I just never denied him from his father. So that's why I was saying it's okay to move on and raise your child right. And then, you know, my son is fine. He's going to college. He's good. You don't need I'm not saying to just completely break up, but if a guy doesn't want you in his life, you don't need to have him there. Like, you don't need to have your kids suffer. Um, I know friends who they don't want to have multiple like different fathers, and it's like they notice the red flags about the guy, and they kept having children with the guy, and it's like they complain about how he doesn't take care of his kids. And it's like, even now, if your kids are what? If your kids are a certain age, like over maybe any age, like if he was not taking care of them at one when they were babies and now they're like 8 and 9, why would you even talk to the guy asking him, why are you not taking care of your children? The guy don't care. Like, some men, they just don't care about taking care of their children because I feel they don't have a connection. Some men, they take care of kids based on the relationship with the dad. I'm sorry, the relationship they have with you. So if you're not with them and having relationship with them, they feel like they don't have to take care of their kids. And the kids have nothing to, if you have a child with someone and you're not with the person, that child have nothing to do with you having a relationship or sleeping with the person. you know that child have nothing to do with it. It's still your child. It took two of you to have that child, and for you to not financially want to take care of the child and then still want to have a relationship with me, it's ridiculous. Or you have to have relationship with me in order to take care of the child. That's crazy, because it's your child. So I know people like that in that situation, because they didn't want to have different dads. But it's like, if you would have had another dad, maybe you would have had a better situation, because it's now you have multiple children and none of them are being taken care of. You have to struggle as a single mom, um with you have to struggle at a single mom. Now, if I had a father like that, I wouldn't talk to him. I wouldn't even invite him to my kid's birthday party. Like, what's the point? I don't know, guys. I'm not vindictive, but I treat people how they treat me, meaning I'm not going to treat you nicer than how you're treating my children. If you have kids with me and you're not treating my kids right, I'm not going to talk to you. And that may look bad, because you try, but still, they're your kids. I don't know. I love people in blended families that make it work, but I don't know, guys. These men out here, these men are crazy. And it's women too. It's women too. It's not just the men, but I hear some stories. It's crazy, you know? And I can't really, it's just the stories that I hear. It's absolutely crazy, you know? And I've seen people who they're single moms and they're great single moms. They don't worry about the dad at all. They just do their thing. They get up and they go and they take pride in taking care of their children. So it can happen. I don't feel like people, a lot of people are also sad about the fact that they're single mothers. And I guess I get both side of the story. I was not sad being a single mom. Well, I wasn't really a single mom with my older child, because he would go to his dad on the summers and some holidays. So I wasn't truly a single mom, but we live in different states. So I was in this state, I was pretty much a single, but my son, my first child is the first grandchild. So I had a lot of help from my parents and my siblings. No one else had kids, so I had it easy with him, guys. So it wasn't bad for me. I didn't have a bad experience with a first child having. I had him at 21, going on 22, but I didn't have a bad experience because I had a lot of help, you know? So it's harder for me with my I'm married now with my two younger kids and they give me more trouble than my first son did, you know? They're a lot of work, a lot of work. But, needless to say, guys, it's okay to be a single mom. I know there's a stigma on being a single mom, but there's a lot of single mothers who have raised exceptional kids, you know? You had your first child at 15? Robin, wow, you were a baby. Mm-mm-mm. You were a baby, Robin. Robin Childs, where are you from? You sound so familiar. My sister had a friend named Robin, and she lived, you know, she had a baby young, and I don't know where you from because you would know me, of course. You don't know me, but okay, so it's not the same. Oh, 15 is so young. So your kids are grown now? 15 is a baby. What were you doing having kids at 15? You should have been in your studies. At 15, that's young. So your kids are grown now? I have an aunt who she raised four children and she was a single mom and her kids are exceptional. She have like a lawyer, a principal, a nurse, and a scientist. Like they all came out great. So being a single mom is just a stigma. Wow, Robin, that was a long time ago. Your kids are my age. I'm 43. I know I don't look it, but your children are my age. Wow, you did a wonderful job then. You did a wonderful job. Now you can enjoy your life because, well, you could have enjoyed your life a long time ago. But that's the thing about having kids when you're young, you're a teenager. Oh, you're about the same age as my parents. My parents are about in their late 60s. So mid to late 60s. So, oh, you're younger than them. They're like older than you, but they're in their 60s. So you're pretty much living your life because 61-year-olds are still, they look very young and vibrant and still living their life. I know this lady, she's 61 and she looked, guys, if you look at her, she looks exactly like me. And every time I look at her, I'm like, are you sure you're 60? She have one child and the child is raised but she looks really good. Like she looks so young, and she travels the world because she doesn't have any attachments. She's always going on a trip. And I'm like, I can't go because I have kids, my kids are younger, but she looks really good. So Robin, you're probably enjoying your life. Yeah, Black Don't Crack, because she goes everywhere. She's like in her 60s. She looks really good. If I showed you guys her photo, you would not guess she was in her 60s at all. You know, she's my hairdresser that became my friend, but she do my hair sometimes, and she looks really good. And I tell her all the time, I'm like, girl, can you tell me what you do, because you don't look 60 at all. She's like really petite. Like it's just, yeah, some people, they don't look their age. She look like she's in her 30s, you know. But just take care of yourself, have fun. Being a single mom is just a stigma. You can raise exceptional kids as a single mom. Being a mother is just, you have to pour yourself into your children. You know, kids are a lot of work, whether single or not, because, like I said, I have a husband, but we need a village. It's not just husband and wife, it's just you need a village when you're raising kids. You can't just, like I said, with my first child, I had a village. I had my mom, my dad, my brothers and sisters. No one had kids yet, so everyone was there to help me, and I'm very appreciative of that. But now it's like these younger kids, they're a lot, a lot and everyone have their kids now. My siblings all have kids. It's weird. My siblings, it's just very strange. So my older son I had by myself, but the other set of kids we all had together. We all have well, not my younger sister, but I have a brother who have twins. So we have four sets of kids that were born on in 2013, late 2013 to 2014. So they all will be 12 in 2026, and then the second set of kids will be 9 in 2026. So, and they're all my all the grandkids for my parents. So all the kids were born around the same time. So it's like we all get together, have all the kids play together. So we can't really have, well, we do have the village sometimes, because when there's holidays and stuff, my kids, my sister will send her son that's 12. He's 12. The twins are not close by. They live in very far away, but they will come over like in the summer or on holidays. They'll come back into state. But what was and then she'll send the 8-year old, because I have only boys. So my nephew will come here, and then my other sister only have girls. So my niece goes there. So my sister will just send them here, and they just blend in like we're all family. The kids love each other. So I'll take my nephew every holiday, every break. He just comes, and he's like a brother with my two younger sons you know and he balanced. Cousins will balance siblings, because siblings live together, they fight, they argue. So when a cousin comes in, they balance the siblings a little, you know because they have someone else to focus on, not just themselves. Oh, nice, Robin, that's so cool. um I was not blessed with a girl, but I was not blessed with a girl. It's okay though. I have three boys. My mom, she have three boys and three girls. Then I have a sister, only girls. She have two girls. Then I have a sister, she's mixed. She have one girl, two boys. I have a brother, he have a twin, one boy, one girl. And then my other brother have one son. So I was blessed with all boys. Oh, you do, Matthew? Three girls and one boy. That's cool. How does it balance? Because I feel like boys are so different from girls because sometimes I have my nieces. I'm pretty much, I have to be stern with the boys, and with my nieces, I notice I have to be kind of softer, like more like they say soft parenting because they're not used to. I have boys, guys, who fight, they jump up on walls, they do everything. If you go on Instagram and see, when they have those memes about boys, it's the life I live with my two younger boys. And most of the time no one wants to watch them because they're a lot of work. They're a handful. So I don't mind staying with them because I'm used to their temperament, but it's not it's not it's real what they're saying on Instagram, boy mom versus girl mom. It's real. And you guys that have the mix, girl versus boy, you guys may see the differences. Boys, they fight a lot, and girls, I know that with my nieces, they talk a lot. So that's the difference. My boys will say one or two things and they're gone. They'll tell me a story and that's it. But my nieces, they'll talk to me like the whole time. And so that's the difference between, for me, that's what I notice, you know. Boys like to play, they like to kick balls all over the house. They like to kick balls. You tell them not to kick the balls, they kick the balls over the house, they break things. When my kids were younger, they used to climb up on tables, jump on the couch. It was, oh my God, it cost me so much stress because, I was a girl who just, when I came home from school, I just read books. I was a bookworm. I was not active like my boys were in the house. They're just crazy. That's why I said, no, I'm not having any more kids because it will be another boy. And I did not want another boy. I'm sorry. My next child would have been another boy. So four boys, no way. Mm-mm. No way would I have four boys because my second set of kids, what do they call them? They call them Gen Beta. Oh my goodness. The energy, they just have too much energy. They were energetic, so I had to put them in sports. With boys, you have to put them in sports. I'm sure people who have multiple girls, the girls are quite active too. I remember with my sisters, we argued a lot. So that gets on my mom's nerve. And we have heated conversations. So our conversations would escalate. Like we would talk, but then our voice would, elevate, go higher when we're trying to make a point. And so my mom, she did not like that at all. And we would argue all the time. So that's the thing. That's what my mom said. The boys didn't really give trouble, but my mom said the girls really argued a lot. But I don't know. As a girl, I didn't give any trouble. I just sat in my corner at home because I was from a big family, eight of us. So I just read books or we all watched TV together. And yeah, my sister and I, like, not physical fight. I think we had one fist fight. That's it. That's it. One fight. But she was a fighter. My sister, she's the middle sister of the two girls, but she have like she was a fighter. She fought in school. She fought us like I fought with her one time, but we argued a lot because I don't like to fight. My little sister, she is 8 years younger than me. So my middle sister we're 2 years apart. But the younger one, I think I was like a real big, big sister to her where I would, I had to comb her hair sometimes. I would tell her what to do, and she didn't like that at all. Like she thought I was bossy, but as siblings, sometimes we're bossy. We try to tell our siblings what to do. Oh, your sister was a fighter. Yeah, my sister was a fighter. I'm telling you, she was always getting into fights. Is she Aquarius? My sister is an Aquarius. She was always getting into fights, and my parents did not like that. But the good thing about, because I grew up with a lot of cousins and sisters, and we all grew up together in the same neighborhood and we all went to the same school. So it's like people couldn't really mess with me, because if they mess with me, my sister and my cousins who were like fighters would, would get them. I was the more quiet one who would do my work, not get in trouble, but people knew me based on them. But people would not mess with me because it, or our family, because it was a lot of us. Oh, she's a Leo. Oh, Leo. Yeah, my sister's an Aquarius and she was always fighting with someone. And it's like, I would ask her, why are you fighting with people? Oh, she said this. I'm like, oh my God. It's just words. You can let it go. Like, let go of the words. Like some people, people can't say anything to them because they just fight over nonsense. Like, ugh, sometimes you have to let it go, but she fought a lot of people. But the thing about my sister, she even fought her friends, but they're still friends to this day. So it's crazy. She was very popular, my sister. But she was popular because she got into fights a lot. It was funny. Like people could not say anything about her because she would just start fighting them. No, she didn't take any mess. Like people could not say anything to her, but she's a friendly girl. She gets along with everyone, but it's like it's like and I have a friend like that. It's like you can't say things to them. Like when we go out now as adults, it's kind of like you're on edge because they can start an argument and you have to be careful with these times because it's not like back then where they used to fist fight. They used to fist fight back then. Now people are using weapons, so you have to be careful. You have to learn how to walk away. Just let it go. Walk away. You know, let people say whatever they want. It's just words, you know. A lot of people, they get hurt over words and it's not worth it. It's not. I don't remember getting into any fights at school. I don't like, I would argue with people, but fist fights, no. I always have, my sister is my younger sister, but she's a fighter and she's also very tall, guys. She's like 5'8". She's very slim, but she was tall. People couldn't mess with her. But she had that personality from she was a little girl. Like no one could mess with me since I was a little girl. Like she always protected me, and she's my younger sister, but she always had that type of personality. It didn't just come out of nowhere. She had it from she was a little girl. Um but she's very tall. She's 5'8". So she's like towers over me. I'm 5'5". She's 5'8". She towers over me. So no one can really mess with her. Guys, no one can mess with her. And then my cousins, it was funny. Like they got into fights too, and they're boys now. That was crazy. But they were all, because back then, guys, you notice that the neighborhoods, because I grew up in the 90s and the 2000s. So in the neighborhoods that I was raised, there were a lot of kids. So a lot of us knew each other. Yeah, I wouldn't fight. I'm not a fighter. Well, I know how to fight because I told you I had one fight with her and I won the fight. I just don't like to fight because when I fight, like when I see any type of fight, I just see like bad things flashing through my eyes. So I try not to be that angry where I'm fighting. So I try not to do physical fight, but I am not a pushover, because I'm from a family of they can fight. So they know I'm not a pushover. Like they cannot beat me up. But I'm not a fighter. I'm just a girly girl. I'm just was a girly girl. Um, my friend at work says I'm a delicate flower. I'm a delicate flower at work. They call me princess because I just, no, I don't fight. I don't. I will argue, debate, but I fought with my sister one time and I feel like that was my only like physical fist fight. And it was with my sister, which was very sad. You know, my mom had to pull us apart. And my sister and I were the closest, we're the closest friends because we're like 2 years apart, you know? So my sister, she'll fight and argue with people, but she have such a soft heart. Like she'll cry and then she just makes up with you after. She's very like, I don't know. You guys can read about Aquarius. They're just strange. Yes, I am a very peaceful person. I do not like to fight. I try to walk away from situations, you know, because I think about the consequences of my actions, guys. I think about someone getting hurt or I do something where I'm not free. I like to be free. And these times are worse than back in the 90s. People are carrying weapons, they're doing crazy stuff. So you have to be careful with what you say. I'm not saying I am a pushover. I do stand up for myself, and went off on people before for no reason. I was pregnant one time and a cop pulled me over and I went off on the cops so bad. And I'm like looking back on what cops do to people. I'm just, when I look back, I'm like, why did I go off on him? He was a rookie and I was pregnant. I was going to work and he pulled me over. And I was like, there are people dying out there. Why are you pulling me over? But I was yelling at him. I'm like, why are you bothering me? And I feel bad now looking back because I feel like it was my emotions that I just flipped out on the cop. And then there was another one that I flipped out. Whenever I'm pregnant, I'm very emotional. So I just I could flip out quickly. And I'm so happy I'm not pregnant because, you know, I definitely can defend myself verbally. Physically, I can too, but I just try not to let it get to that point. I don't believe in fighting. I don't like danger. I don't like physical. I've seen fights because I'm from a family of, my cousins used to fight. At one time, we were having a cookout, and then it's like the cousins, second cousins were fighting again, first cousins, and it happened like in front of my eyes. So my brothers are in it. My cousins were fighting. I could not. Even my little sister started fighting, and I just got so like I started shaking, like really shaking, because in my eyes it flashed that someone was gonna get hurt, and people did get hurt because they went into asthma attacks. They had to call the cops and everything, and that was a long time ago, maybe 15 years ago. It was like a cookout, and family members, guys. They had to call the cops. The cops used tasers. Out. Those type of situations I'm not like a part of in my daily life. And that's why I try to avoid crowded places because those type of things give me like anxiety. I will definitely run. If I hear anything, like in the summer, I was coming from, it was like a taste of a food truck, taste a festival like downtown. And after we were walking out and I saw a bunch of kids just, they started scattering and running. And then they're like, oh, this person did that. This person did that. And cops were there, but I started running to my car because I get really nervous when I see things like that. I just move away from the situation. Now, my husband on the other end, he's very opposite me. He tried to be nosy and try to go into the situation. I'm like, oh, that's not how I was taught. I was taught to run if there's danger or get away from the situation. But yeah, I don't like those type of situations. I stay away. Like I told you guys, I am very like to my I'm very, I know a lot of people, but I'm also a loner, which is crazy. I'm not a loner because I have a husband, But what do they call? I'm an introvert and also an extrovert. I'm mixed with both. I'm mixed with both. Sorry. Your husband is nosy. Yes, my husband is so nosy as well. Guys, we had a bear in our neighborhood and he just have no fear. Instead, they said, don't go next to a bear. And he's walking towards the bear. I'm like, are you crazy? You want to get hurt? It's a big black bear. They could attack you. Step away from the bear. Like he's walking into the bear, you know? Like that's kind of crazy. I when I see danger, I walk away. I step away. I run away. It just flashes in my head that something terrible is going to happen and I just get nervous. You know, if I get nervous. If I'm like at a club or something and I see a crowd just running and going crazy, I am leaving the club. I'm not staying in the club wondering what's happening, what's going on. I'm gone. I'm like getting in my car and I'm gone. I don't even care if it was like a false alarm or anything. I'm out of there because things happen. You hear crazy things. I just, even when I go to a concert, I try to stay at the exit, you know. I just it's just nerve-wracking. I struggle with like anxiety due to the certain things. So I try to stay away. I get, mm. Yes, I will see it on the news because I will not stay to know what happened. I will see it on the news. I will be gone, you know? I normally run away from, excuse me, I run away from dangerous situations. I don't. And you know what? When you're driving on the highway, do you notice that sometimes the accident happens on the opposite end and the road is just backed up, like on your side? And people are just nosy looking like what's happening holding up the road, but it's like stop being nosy. You'll hear about it on the news. What can you do to help? Most of the time we can't really do anything because we're on the opposite side of the road, you know so yeah, life is quite interesting with people. you know like sometimes when you're nosy it will get you in trouble. It will. I'm not saying I'm not nosy myself because, but like I'm nosy in the fact where I won't call you for information, but people will tell me things. And then if they're telling me a story, I will just ask more to inquire. But when there's a dangerous situation, I'm not being nosy. I will hear about it after, and then that's when I'll ask more information. But, and I try to go to places where I know nothing will happen. Yeah, I have the news app for my state on my phone. And then my parents, I said they're in their 60s, so they tell me everything because I call them every day, maybe twice a day. So they'll inform me when I tell my dad, "Oh, dad, I haven't watched the news today." He's like, "Are you crazy? You haven't watched the news?" My dad just stays because he's retired. He stays on the news. Like, he's like, "Oh, Carla, I have to call you back. I have to watch the news." And sometimes I'm like, "Daddy, just don't watch the news because sometimes it's too much. Like, give it a break one day." But he watches the news every day and tell me everything about the news. But I have an app on my phone that it tells me, alert me of what's happening in my state or what happened today or so forth. So, yeah, it's just with clubs, guys, be careful when you're going out. Like, even to be careful. Be careful around okay, the holidays are coming up. Be careful, stay home. Even when you're driving, be careful. I don't know if you guys have okay, I don't know if you guys have road rage. I'm sorry about that. I don't know if you guys have road rage, but with road rage, be careful. You know, be careful with road rage. Yeah, I have a great relationship with my parents. I am so sorry, Robin, that your parents are no longer here. It's the same for my parents. Their parents are no longer here. I do. That's so sad. I try to cherish my parents, because they're older and you just never know when anything is going to happen. So I try to cherish all my family members. You just never know. And my parents, I try to call them twice a day, you know, just to keep up. And I call them about everything. They think I'm annoying, and I'm 43 years old. They think I'm an annoying child, but I probably was like that. I'm very curious, inquisitive. So that's just me to them. So I've always been that way. So we talk all the time. If anyone still have their parents, make sure you call and talk to them. My husband, he always say he loved that I call and talk to my parents all the time. Like he loved the relationship. He lost his dad when he was like 13 years old, and he just have his mom. He keep in contact with his mom. His mom doesn't live in the same state as us. She live in New York, so that is not far from us, but we text. I text her sometimes and she call him, but with my parents, they live not far from me, 20 minutes away. So I call them, I'll go see them. When it's cold, it's kind of hard. And the good thing is about my mom, she is a cooker. So when she's home, she'll cook for the entire, because most of her kids we live around the same place. I guess two of her children don't live in this, don't live in close proximity, but she'll cook because she's a cooker. She can really cook, guys. She'll cook and she'll have a big meal. The thing about my mom, she does not know how to cook small, like small portions. Whereas with me, I cook small portions. I have 5 people in my house, so I still cook small portions because I cook every day, But my mom, she'll cook like big meals and she'll call us. She's like, "Oh, I cooked today," and we'll all go with our Tupperwares and go pick up meals. She'll just be home cooking, you know? And I just love that about her, that she cares so much about her kids that she'll just call us and say that, yeah, it is true. Yeah, that's her way to see us. Yeah. And the thing is, she will not share the food. Like she just cook and say, "Come get your food." And I'm like, "Mom, come on, just share the food for me." But I'll go there, share my plate. My sister, I have a sister who lives around the corner, so I'll get her and her husband and her children stuff. My other sister lived very far. She lives about 45 minutes away. And then my brother, he lives closer to my parents. My parents live 20 minutes from me, about 20 minutes away. And then my other brother lives, one is in New York, which is far away, but the brother that I follow live very close to my parents. Um, so yeah, she cook and we all go see her, and that's how they were raised because it's 13 of them, I believe, or 11. And so she said they always had people come to their house and they had to cook. So she had to learn how to cook from a very young age, and they had to cook for their guests. So my mom and all her sisters know how to cook really good because my mom have an aunt in New York. Remember I said my aunt who was a single mom who have all professionals. Now my uncle's in New York. They're in their 70s now. They're in the New York. So my aunt will cook for most of the family in New York. My uncle, my brother lives in New York and her kids. So she'll cook for them and call them for food. And then I have another aunt that's close to us, so they're cookers. They're cookers. They're a family that can really cook, and I guess that's how they they were when they were younger, because they're from a big family. So all the sisters can cook, and it's just so funny when you go on a vacation and you bring all of them. It's just really hilarious. Next time I do, like, I'm gonna try to get them all together and then record. It's so funny. It's So funny. So there's two boys alive, and then there's how many sisters? My mom, my aunt. I think there's five sisters still left. Yeah, I cook every day, but my meals are they're not they're very small meals. Like I'll cook maybe today I had salmon, mac and cheese, and vegetable. Then I made a Alfredo pasta for my a veggie Alfredo pasta for my husband because he does not eat meat. So I have to cook two separate meals because my husband doesn't eat meat and my kids eat meat. So it's just crazy. My kids and myself eat meat, but my husband doesn't eat meat. So I cook two meals per day. But they're small meals. Like my husband, I'll cook for him. He works second shift. So what he does, he likes for some reason he likes to eat when he come home. So I'll make him, excuse me, food for I'll make him food for when he comes home, like a little portion. Because if I cook a heavy meal, I don't want him to eat too heavy. Like a little, like a sample for him to have when he comes home. And then I'll pack his lunch for the next day, you know? But my husband cooks too, so sometimes he'll cook for himself in the morning because if he cooks for himself, then in the evening I just have to cook the kids' meal. Or if I let him know, oh, I'm cooking something for you today, because he cooks differently for himself than I cook for him. Like his meals for himself is kind of different because we're Jamaican. He cooks mainly Jamaican food for himself, to where I will cook more like, fettuccine Alfredo. He's not gonna make that for himself, but he loves it. I know, but he does not lay down. He sits on the couch. He'll sit on the couch and let it he doesn't go to bed until about 2 hours after he comes home. But I always tell him that he should just eat at work, and then when he comes home, for him to when he comes home, for him not to eat, just eat like a salad or a fruit or something. But he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. So I just let him do whatever he wants to do now, because he does not listen about not eating when he comes home. You know? My husband doesn't listen. He's a man. And I tell you, we're Jamaican. So Jamaican men don't listen. They're just very stubborn, hard headed, very hard headed. But, most wives have this issue with their husbands. They don't listen. You have to tell them you have to repeat yourself a lot. And I don't know. And my husband he hates when I tell people this, but you guys don't know him. He's older than me, so he hates that. he, um, yes, my husband is very bullheaded. Oh my God. What sign is your husband? My husband is a Virgo. Virgos, guys, are so like, I have a lot of Virgos around me. Like, my mom is a Virgo, my best friend is a Virgo, my husband is a Virgo, my sister is a Virgo. My other friend is a Virgo. I'm like, what is it? I'm a Gemini, and they say Geminis are not really compatible with Virgos. So it's just so strange that they're all around me. But my mom get along with me so well. So I don't know. Oh, he's a Cancer. Cancers, they said they're very hard workers. Yeah, they're very stubborn. They do what they want. Mm-hmm. I've never dated a Cancer, but they are. They are. I had friends who were Cancer. Yeah, they work very hard and they do what they want. But I think it's not the sign, it's just like men. Men are very stubborn. I see all the memes on social media. Men are very stubborn. They're very stubborn. You know, you have to really um repeat yourself. So But it's fun to be married. It's just there's a balance, you know. It's a balance. You have to get to really know your spouse, and then once you get to know them, things won't bother you, you know? Things won't bother you because you know them, you know? You'll know them. Things won't bother you. Yep, things will not bother you, you know, because they're just they're too much. I told my husband if I was ever single, I would not marry again. That sounds harsh, doesn't it? I understand why some women don't get married again because it's a lot of work to cater to a husband and to your kids. Well, not kids, cater to your husband. Husbands have like different temperaments, and it's like you have to, but you both cater to each other. So, I mean, I think I would want to be married, but you cater to you have to cater to your partner, get to know your partner, and then a life will be great. But don't ever look at relationships like they're perfect, guys. I think a lot of people look at look outside, they look at other people's relationship and say, "Oh, that's a relationship goal." No. I never look at anyone and say, "Oh, that's a relationship goal." I would never. Yeah, Robin, I feel the same. I just said I would not marry again. You know, I'm not getting a divorce, but I would not marry again because it's a lot of work. You know, I was talking to my husband. He's like, "Really? You wouldn't marry again because of me?" I'm like, "No, I would not. I would date, but I would not marry because to cater to another person is a lot. You know, it's a lot of work, and then I would have to get to know someone else's temperament, and you know, I wouldn't want to do that again. I would not, you know, one person and that's it. But if anything was to happen, nope, I'm not doing it again. Sorry. I would rather stay single and just date. Probably go on dinner dates, but not living with a man. No, it's a lot of work. But if you have like a man that helps you, is good. Like my husband, he cleans, so that's a good part. But certain things he doesn't do, but you know, that's neither here nor there. But he cleans. I know a lot of people on the internet, they say their husband doesn't clean, but I don't have a problem with that. I'm pretty blessed with that he helps with the cleaning. And he will cook. He will cook, but he cooks, like I said, his food, certain things he cook, like my kids are not gonna eat, so that's why I will have to cook for the children. Like he doesn't cook, he only cook a specific type of food, you know. He just, my husband, like if you know a Virgo person, they're the same. They like, I don't know, read, if you guys know about the signs, you'll know, like they like things a certain way. They're not like, okay, I'm a Gemini, I'll try new things and change, but a Virgo, nope, they stay the same. They do things the same. So you just get to know them and just, it's easy. So he doesn't clean up. Oh no, that's not my husband. Everyone who cooks in this house have to clean up because you know I have an older son, 21. He's going to college, and he is, if we cook, it's weird, but he also cooks his different type of meal because he is into the gym, and so he have different, his diet is sometimes different, but he'll eat after I cook. Like he'll make his stuff, then he'll eat when I cook. But no, my husband will clean up. Like I always tell people, if we have like an event here and it's like we'll have the event the next day you come in, it's like we didn't have an event because my husband will make sure the house is clean, and then he'll make sure everything is out, like all the garbage and stuff is out. It's, you know, the thing with it, I will set up. he won't help me set up. So I will set up or cook because we had Thanksgiving. So he didn't help me set up. I had to set up the place and cook. But at the end of the night, he will make sure everything is spick and span like no one was here. Like it's just crazy. Every time we had an event, he would make sure everything is clean, like the house is back to normal. And that is pretty much amazing because I've never seen that before. Because my family had events like no, I've never seen that. And I've seen other people have events, and I've never seen that where they make sure the house looked like it was before the event. My husband, he does it every time. So that's what I like about him. He knows he could really clean. Like you need help with cleaning. It can't like I know a lot of people will hire cleaning service, but not everyone can afford that all the time. So it's good if both people clean. Like it's good that both people take part, especially if the house is not like a ranch house, have multiple rooms. Like I always said I did not want a big house because of the cleaning, because you're constant. But what I do now with cleaning, I try to do it in the week. I don't do everything at once. Like I'll pick a room or certain areas to clean, and then that helps me a lot. Like laundry, I make sure I do laundry like at least twice a week because I have a pet peeve with laundry piling up. Like it bothers me so much if laundry piles up. So I do laundry twice a week. So I know that sounds crazy, but when you have small children, I know my kids are, it's only two younger kids now, but still they don't have uniform here, and they wear clothes and they have sports after they wear a different outfit to sports after. um so I make sure I clean up. Yeah, cleaning is a lot of work, so you need someone to help you with cleaning. My husband will clean up after an event. My God. You know who's good at that too? My best friend. She's a Virgo. Like if she's here and I'm having an event, she will help me clean up. She will be better than my family that she'll help me clean up and make sure everything, she'll help. You know, my family, when they come, they just come, they'll eat and they leave, and that's it. They're gone. They're not going to help with the cleaning up at all. It's just really crazy. But I'm happy that I have my husband here that is so good at that. He is so good at that. So I don't but he's opposite from me where he loved to host a party. I don't like to host a party. I like to go to people's parties and people houses because um it's stressful hosting a party at your house. You have to make sure everything is perfect. It's just too much. But I always want my family over because we're a close knit family. So, them being over is fine. We host a lot. But guys, if you have a husband who cleans up, keep that man. Because most husbands don't clean up. I don't have to tell my husband to take out the trash at all. I don't have to, when it comes to cleaning, I don't have to say nothing about cleaning. Just certain things he will not clean that I have to clean. He'll mop the floor. He makes sure that downstairs is in order, but I'll clean the bedrooms and the bathrooms. I'll do the laundry, pack away the clothes. So I do that sort of cleaning. He does like sweeping the floor, mopping the floor. If I cook, I have to clean up. So our kitchen is always clean because we don't like the kitchen dirty. And you enter the house from the kitchen anyways. Our garage, we go through the garage. So whenever I cook, I have to clean. Oh no, my family will stay here and talk and eat. They like to stay here. And when I have okay, so say I'll have an outdoor party in the summer. They'll want to come inside. I'm like, no, it's not an indoor party. It's an outdoor party. You guys don't need to come in when it's the summertime. Stay on the deck. I'm not going to entertain you in both places. That means we have to clean up both places. No, stay on the deck, stay outside. But normally when I do something here, I'll do potluck style because like I said, my mom loves to cook. Like if you tell her, "Oh mom, just make one plate," I'm having an event. I just need you to make like one plate. Make like the oxtails or something. Oh no, she's coming with the oxtail, the fried chicken, the rice and peas. I'm like, Mom, I told you not to make that much food. And she still will do it. So I normally do not potluck, but I always have my mom make one or two dishes, but she goes over the top. So sometimes I just try not to even ask her because you cannot ask her to make a simple meal because she'll make a bunch of meals. And it's like, oh, my events, like sometimes it's a lot of people, but I just keep very limited close friends and then that's it. So it's like she overcooks and I have to, figure out how to allocate the food. But that's her favorite thing. So I told her she's in the wrong profession. And everyone told her that from she was young that she should have opened up a restaurant or do some type of cooking outside of her household, do something. Here they do fish fries or people, they order food from a house, and she definitely could have done that. But I think she needed help back then when she asked her family members and she didn't get help, so she didn't do it. But, they're Jamaican, so whenever she go to Jamaica, she makes like, and my mom is a great cook, meaning we're Jamaican, but she doesn't only cook Jamaican food. She makes American style foods with Jamaican. Now I have friends, and when I told them, "Oh, we had mac and cheese, we had pasta when we were growing up," because she worked at a deli, so she got all those recipes. And my friends who are Jamaican as well, they're like, "Really? We didn't eat that in our house. We just ate strictly Jamaican food." But no, my mom had us eating very different types of food. I mean, like pastas and stuff like that, spaghetti and meatball. And so that's why I'm used to that. I cook Jamaican food as well. So my kids are used to like both foods. So, but my friends, some of my friends, the Jamaican ones, they was like, no, they don't eat that. And I was quite shocked. They're like, no, we don't cook mac and cheese in our house. I'm like, what? You don't cook mac and cheese? My mom used to make pasta. It was so good. Pasta with broccoli and carrots and just it was so, so good. And as kids, the way she would cook, she would give us vegetables and everything, and we would eat it because she would incorporate it in such a great style. And my kids now, I do it that way too, to try to make them you know what, one time I will have her cook and just record it because she really is a great cook, trust me. In Jamaica, when they go to Jamaica, my mom will cook for the whole community. Like she would cook and invite everybody to come over for food, and they would love her cooking, and they would tell her, why don't you open up a restaurant? you know but it's not just my mom, it's her and her sisters. They just have that cooking hands. It's like, wow. And I am not exaggerating, everyone says that. Bananas or plantains? I've fried plantains but not the green bananas, no. I have fried the plantain. I'll be talking, but I'm gonna block my video. I have to get lip gloss. I don't know. My lips are dry. I have to get lip gloss. 1 second. But you guys can type. I'll respond. I'm still here. I have to just move my location a little. But I've never fried plantains. I've never fried the green bananas. I've fried the green plantains, but never the green bananas. Sorry, guys. It's so dark in my house because everyone is sleeping. One second, guys. No, it's green plant, it's bananas, but they also fry the green plantains. So the green plantains, but not bananas. Are you talking about the green bananas or the ripe? They fry the green plantains. I know you're cold as well, Robin. You're in Chicago. I'm in Connecticut. It's so cold. But and my lips get really dry in the winter time for some reason. It's weird. I just use Acuphor on my lips. I have the small one and I have the ones I carry in my pocketbook, but guys, the cold make just everything dry. We make plantains. My husband loves planting, so he makes it in the house. I love planting, guys. Oh my God. I can just eat that with, you know, with anything, you know. We make sure we have it and we cook it. It can go with any meal. It's so, so good. It's just an addiction here in my house. It's just really good, you know. Sometimes I eat it for breakfast. I'll make it like a sandwich. I'll make it like a sandwich. So it's really, really good. Yep, it's so, so good. Yeah, we just love plantains in our house. It's so, so good. You know, you can add it to any meal. And we're constantly making it. But mainly we make it for breakfast. We don't make it too much for dinner. Because fried plantain is not that, it's good for you, but not that good because it's fried, of course. But the good thing is you can do it in the air fryer and it comes out it's not as bad as frying it on the stove. So um, I'll try that because I have a girlfriend who says that she does it in the air fryer because she has a sugar problem and she can't eat anything too sweet. So she does it that way. Yeah, she does it in the air fryer. Well, guys, it was nice talking to you guys tonight, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful night. You know, I stayed up with you guys last night and I stayed up with you tonight. You know, it was fun. You know, I love that I get to talk to different types of people from all over the globe. And I hope you guys stay warm wherever you are because it's, you know, it's very cold in Connecticut and very cold all over the Northeast. So I hope you guys stay warm and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. So what do they say? It's Vlogmas. So I will try to come on every day. It's very hard for me, but I'll try my best. But I do thank you guys so much for, you know, coming into my life and, you know, being here for me and everything. I appreciate it. You know, one like at a time, and we will get to monetize my YouTube. And thank you guys for being like my top fans. And I really enjoy the conversation today. And I hope you have a wonderful night and enjoy your holidays if I don't get to speak to you, you know, for the holidays. So have a great night. Thank you for coming in. I really enjoyed our talk today.